Hi guys, so for some of you this is the first time you've done this, and for some of you this is the second time you've done this. So for my A-Day classes, this is the first time you've had a lesson like this. For my B-Day classes, this is the second time because B-Day needed to do 9.2, which A-Day you did that in class with me. So I am going to go through a few housekeeping really quick. Sorry, A-Day classes, you've already done this. We are going to be doing our classes through Canvas and Nearpod. I will be trying to record these lessons for you so you can hear my voice. I will also be trying to put up additional online help for each lesson to help you guys. If you have questions, I've also added a discussion section to each lesson. How you get to it, you navigate to the discussion board. On the navigation side in Canvas, you go to discussions and it'll say discussions and whatever. This one will say discussion 9.3. And this is for if you have questions. So what I'm asking for is please don't put in there, I don't understand anything. Please try and be very specific. Like on this section of the notes, I didn't understand how you did this. Okay, please be very specific on what you understand and what you don't understand. And before you ask a question, make sure that, or before you start a new thread, make sure that someone has not already asked the question that you're asking. So what I'm trying to do is avoid answering the same question over again to individual people. Also, if you know the answer to the question that people are asking, please feel free to answer that and help out your fellow classmates, because this is a time of stress for all of us. And so please help each other out and be good citizens, both as students and just good classmates, and help people out. Sorry, I got kind of a little caught up there, but just try and help each other out. So we're going to do this. I am not going to slow down because the videos are already taken. I don't want them to take forever. Some of them are already like 20 minutes, and sometimes I think that might be a little too long. But usually they're broken down into pieces, and kind of like the lessons at school, we'll do so much, and then you'll do some homework, and then we'll come back and we'll do another portion, and then you'll do some homework questions or some practice questions, and then again. So there might be 3 or 4 different videos for each lesson, and then we'll come back and you'll have a short Delta Math assignment at the end. So you will get credit for doing the questions in the Nearpod, and you do get credit for the Delta Math for both. And there are also still summaries. So we're adding one more assignment, and I'm trying to keep the questions to be about the same as it would be if we're doing the homework in class on the paper. So the amount of questions in the Nearpod and Delta Math would equal out to be about the same. So I don't want to try and overwhelm you. So that's about all, I think. Questions will be answered in Nearpod. If you have a personal question about your grade or about, a personal concern, go ahead and email me either in Canvas or through my email. I think it's under each lesson. Or if you guys find a great resource for something, like didn't like any of my online resources I gave you, and you find a great resource, please send it to me. We're trying to collect those. Thank you. That would be awesome. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start. So if you didn't notice, we're moving on from functions and we're going to logarithms. We're not going to go super deep into logarithms, but we are going to do some things with logs. So I know. I feel kind of bad about having to do logs without you being there, but we're going to try our darndest to do it. And I am going to try and explain what goes into when I'm doing these problems, what my actual step-by-step thinking is, instead of just assuming that you guys know how to do it, which I know sometimes I do anyways. I'm going to try and not do that now and explain more of my thinking behind when I'm solving these problems, since I can't be there to explain it to you guys. So that is, that's kind of where we're going with this. I hope that we're okay with that. So we're going to go to logarithmic functions. Here we go. We're going to just talk about basic logs today. So I'm going to define the logarithm. Define what log base a of x. What does it mean? Well, first of all, I want to say it's the inverse of an exponential function. Okay, it's the inverse of an, so logarithm is the inverse of an exponential function. Okay, so this is the part that you need to know. So if I have log base x of b equals y, I can write that as x, if and only if, I kind of want to erase that because that was kind of bad. Okay. This is true if and only if x to the y equals b. Okay? So I know you might have seen those letters in different orders, and you'll probably see different letters in there, but it's the same. It doesn't matter what variable goes where. If I have log base x of b equals y, I can switch it from a logarithm to an exponential. It says x to the y equals b. Or if I have x to the y equals b, I can rewrite that as a log that says log base x of b equals y. I just need to know where the switching makes. So I'm going to highlight this. Notice here's my base here, base of my logarithm, and the base of my logarithm and the base of my exponent. They're both bases. So they are the same. And then what happens is the b switches sides of the equal sign, and the y becomes my exponent. Okay, these kind of switch sides of the equal sign. That's how I kind of think about it. The x is my base of each one. It's the base of my logarithm and the base of my exponent. Okay, and then the b and the y switch sides of the equal sign, and then the y becomes my exponent. So that's kind of how I think about it. I hope that helps a little bit. We're going to go on. So it says simplify this. Basically, I want to kind of solve it and figure out what it equals. This is just an easy solve. It just says, and this is how I think about it. It says 2, I'm going to change it from a logarithm to an exponential, really, to solve this. I want to think of this as 2 to what power equals 32. Well, 2 to what power equals 32? Well, I know that 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. Well, that's 5 2's, so that means this equals 5. So log base 2 of 32 is 5. Okay? So that's how I think about this. And I'm going to do the same thing here. 2 to what power equals 1? Ooh, I don't know if you guys remember this, but 2 to what power? Well, 2 to the first power is not 1. 2 to the first power is 2. So 2 to what power is 1? 2 to the 0th power, yes. Anything to the 0th power equals 1. Remember that? It doesn't matter what it is. Anything to the 0th power is 1. Great. And then the last one says 2 to what power equals 1/8. Well, I know that now that it's a fraction, I know my answer is going to be negative. Because that's how exponents work. If you remember, if I have a number to a negative exponent, that means it's going to be a fraction. Then I say 2 to what power is 8? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So that means it's going to be -3. And that's my thought on how that works. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to have you practice doing some of these problems and see how good you guys do at them. And we're going to go on from there. So I will be back and just go do, I don't remember how many I've given you. So go ahead and work on those. And then I'll see you back in a few minutes and we'll go on to the graphing section. Thanks guys. See you in a few.